The sequel to The Hangover. Big shoes to fill. Not gonna lie, that's tough. The Hangover 2. Alright, so 2 years ago, a movie came out, became a smash hit, and has gone down as like one of the greatest comedies of all time or whatever. And it was really funny. So of course there's gonna be a sequel, because it's not about practicality or what makes sense, it's all about the money. So now we have The Hangover 2. And so the nerd dog from The Office is marrying one of the hot chicks from Sucker Punch, and they all go to Thailand for the wedding. And then Blackout, and then Hangover 2. And right off the bat, I know you're asking, is it as funny as the first one? No, it's not. The bummer about this movie is that it doesn't make sense that it would happen again. I mean, you have the same people in the same kind of scenario. It really feels recycled. And I'm sure the mindset was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, so we'll do everything the same as we did in the first one. And they really do. You ever see a movie where it's like, what are the odds that that same thing would happen to the same person again? This movie is like the definition of that. I think it's a phrase that should be coined. Whenever a sequel does that now, it should be called They Hangover 2 that movie. Some situational scenarios are different, but ultimately it's like the same thing. Like in the first one, someone loses a tooth. In this one, someone loses something else. Another body part. So, same kind of parallel. I mean, it would have been kind of interesting if they even incorporated that one guy from the first one, you know, the one who was missing, but they didn't. Again, he misses out on this whole thing. And I was watching the movie going, it's kind of funny, it's interesting. And then I thought to myself, like inner monologue style, like JD from Scrubs or some shit, I do that. I thought, yeah, but how many times have you laughed in this movie? I think it was actually twice. It's kind of like, you know, the alternate dimension in Fringe? How things are similar but kind of different. Like instead of Green Lantern, they have Red Lantern. That's what The Hangover 2 is. Hangover 2 is like The Hangover if it were released in the alternate dimension in Fringe. 98% of the movie's the same. Some things are tweaked for situational differences, but ultimately it's like a parallel of the first one. But when they do it, it's in a way that's not as good. There it is right there. The first one was just a lot more fun. You know, going wild in Vegas, you're watching the movie going, that would be awesome if that happened to me. Worst case scenario, you get Heather Graham. But in The Hangover 2, they're in Bangkok. You're watching it and you're like, the place looks just sweaty and dirty and smoggy and overpopulated. And there's a bunch of crime that they have to go through. So you're just watching the movie going, if that ever happens to me, fuck that. It kind of goes against what Hangover was all about. Hangover 1 was like the bachelor party movie of your dreams. This movie's like the bachelor brunch of your nightmares. It was not dog shit, but I will say it's alright, but you won't remember it in T-minus 15 minutes. In this one, just the jokes and the shenanigans are darker and they're less funny. This was clearly a studio call. I have to believe that the director was like, there's no way to make a sequel fit. And the studio's like, yeah, but the first one made a lot of money, so you're gonna make a sequel. Trust us on this. So this is the weekend of sequels. I got my review of Kung Fu Panda 2 coming up pretty soon, or might be up now, depending on when you see this. And if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.